Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great. Welcome to this new video right here on XRP. We're back with a full update, but first of all, I want to wish you all a great weekend, of course. Hope you all had a good week of trading. It was a little bit volatile, definitely throughout the week, but ultimately it was a good week. There were plenty of opportunities, so hopefully you had a good week as well. But now let's talk about XRP today. Let's talk about XRP this weekend, and let's talk a little bit about XRP next week, although we will focus more on that tomorrow. Let's do that. I mean, I looked at some Ripple news a little bit earlier today, but there's nothing major that I think we need to talk about regarding news or fundamentals of XRP. We can briefly take a look at the stablecoin statistics and see how RLUSD is doing, right? Because that's it's been a while since I checked that out. RLUSD obviously being the Ripple USD stablecoin. $730 million in market cap. That's not bad, but the growth is relatively slow, right? I mean, they've seen 10% growth in the last month, which if you compare that to other stablecoins such as Falcon USD or Athena USDT or PayPal USD even, it's lower, right? It's higher than USDC and DAI, but okay, well, there's growth. That's positive. However, outside of that, not much is going on, and that's basically the summary of this video, which I hate to say because that's obviously quite boring, but at this point of time, there just isn't a lot of momentum for XRP. There have been times last week where I thought, hey, okay, now the narrative and kind of the coins that I would deem similar to XRP, to Ripple, are actually doing something, right? There were times that XLM and XRP were actually outperforming the markets. There were times where Hedera was outperforming the markets. We've had some good news regarding ETF legislation in the United States. So all of those things definitely helped with pushing up the price of XRP on Wednesday, going into Thursday. But since then, we've had a pretty relentless sell-off. There's also, it seems like some shorts are piling in as well. And just in general, XRP is just not that strong. I do want to take a look. I have a bit of a feeling that my leverage data is off. No, I mean, there's actually, wow, there is some leverage coming in. That's very interesting. So there's leverage coming in, but ultimately we've remained relatively stable around the point of control, right? And the point of control is right here around $3.02. So that's where most of the liquidity has been traded. Main resistance is 3.12. Main support, I would argue, is 2.95, with the potential of spiking down into this major support at 2.85 and the 200 EMA and the value area low. I've gone back and forth on whether we should actually expect a move into 2.85, right? I think you should be ready for it. I think you should potentially have some limit orders set up there for if we get a spike down there. I still don't think it's most likely we'll do that. But okay, so if we take a look at the order flow right here for XRP, so basically what type of leverage is being opened, there is a lot of short orders being opened here. I mean, it's pretty strange. Here you can see that this is open interest, right? So this is basically the leverage being opened since the 17th of September. And what you can see is that especially yesterday afternoon, but also yesterday morning, basically going into today, a lot of shorts are being opened. And I might be missing something, but I'm not quite sure why. And this actually makes me think that, very often when you see something like this, the early shorters actually do get rewarded, right? So early shorters, I would argue, are right here at 3.05. So that makes me say that I do think it's likely, if we look at XRP here, if we really zoom in, I do think it's likely some shorters will still be rewarded. So by a drop into the 30-day and 90-day rolling VWAP, which is around 2.95, 2.93. But from there, I do expect support. And from there, I do expect us to bounce. I think those shorters will not be rewarded all the way down into 2.85, 2.84. Unless we get bad news, which is something I cannot predict, but I think that's unlikely. All right, so for now, I would still say, and then we have a ton of imbalances to the upside. Like it rarely happens that those imbalances do not get filled. So this is what I would expect short term for XRP. So move into that level at 2.95, 2.93, bounce slowly probably, but bounce, head into 3.03, 3.05. That's what I would expect on the short term, but I do want to stress that, if we look at it here, that would basically mean that we're going to remain stable, right? So we'll do something like this, and then afterwards we'll remain stable until we actually get some news or some sort of momentum that's specifically good for XRP, which I'll keep you updated on as well. But for now, short term, I'd say that this is what you need to know. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.